beauty, aren't you? Oh my.
Hello and welcome back to this new episode of Wild Bytes. Now I'm going to start this episode by asking you a simple question. What scares you the most? This is something I haven't really asked myself throughout the past seasons of Wild Bytes. And well, in this episode, we're going to explore some of our previous encounters that some are just really weird, but others are also quite creepy, quite scary. And if you hate bugs, then I'm really sorry. You may not like this episode, especially if you hate spiders. But nevertheless, let's delve into some past encounters from our previous travels.
If you hate bugs, then the jungle certainly is no picnic. You'd be stung, scratched, bitten by various different invertebrates, such as ticks and mosquitoes. But our first invertebrate for this episode takes us back 3 years when I went to Madagascar.
Now, Madagascar was truly a place like no other. And you'd be walking in the forest, pitch black, and you'd see your usual, the lemurs, such as mouse lemurs and woolly lemurs. But when you stop and look in the undergrowth, especially for Madagascan animals, you can find some really bizarre creatures. And we certainly did that. This first creature was really strange. So this was a land planarian, or also commonly called a hammerhead flatworm.
These flatworms are carnivorous and feed on animals such as earthworms, slugs, and can even be cannibals. Some species even possess a powerful neurotoxin. These animals can be found worldwide and aren't just limited to Madagascar. In places such as Europe, land planarians are invasive and can be quite difficult to kill. These animals can rapidly regenerate wounds. Even if you cut a worm in half, it will still regenerate, but this time into 2 individuals. These animals are truly weird.
This was one of the first bits of wildlife I actually saw in Madagascar, and it was quite a good introduction for some of the weird stuff that was to come. But for those of you who have watched my previous series in Madagascar, you'll know that there is one invertebrate that trumps it, and it's not a flatworm, it's a spider. And this spider certainly does love to lurk in the shadows, and it has an incredible way of hunting. And if you know where to look, finding the spider really wasn't hard. And if you had the patience, filming it hunt was certainly rewarding.
We headed off into the Madagascan jungle and went off path to find our mysterious spider.
In the darkness of this jungle, we've come across one of its more spooky and in some cases unpleasant encounters. This is a net casting spider, and it's also called the ogre face spider, which I think is a bit harsh, but some of you may agree. And it has an incredibly unique way of hunting. Unlike most other spiders, which hunt by sitting on a web and waiting for unfortunate insects to get caught in it, this one fashions a net out of its silk.
Now of course you're going to want to see this in action, and I won't disappoint you guys. However, this cockroach certainly will be disappointed once he finds out what's lurking around the corner. A sinister apparition awaits, but the cockroach continues to be oblivious. The net-casting spider has been waiting patiently for this moment. Her net is ready, and she has powerful eyesight, more efficient at gathering available light than other nocturnal predators, such as owls and cats. She will be able to see the cockroach in complete darkness. Suspended on thin lines of silk, she lies in wait. But now the cockroach is just in front of her, but is only just outside of the strike zone. She continues to wait patiently for the right moment. And she strikes, a perfect shot. The cockroach is immediately immobilized by her sticky spider silk. There is no escape now. Her fangs, like 2 hypodermic needles, inject enzymes into the cockroach. This quickly liquefies its insides. This is one of the most successful hunting methods in the arthropod phyla, and this spider is certainly reaping the benefits of it. She has won her prize for the night.
And then it eats its meal. Awesome.
And there you have it. A truly specialised spider that has evolved to catch prey in such an extraordinary manner. But for now that's it for Madagascar, and we're going to be heading across the Atlantic Ocean over the African continent to South America, where we revisit our travels in Peru. And in Peru, when we're talking about invertebrates, they're bigger, they're meaner than the ones in Madagascar. Let's have a look.
When darkness falls on the Peruvian Amazon, you are hit by a huge variety of different animals, and we found ourselves catching various species of frogs and snakes. But how would you feel about holding this guy? This is a giant flat-backed millipede, a fairly good-sized one. But you'll be pleased to know that this one is relatively harmless. This Myriapod is herbivorous, and feeds on decaying leaf litter, and is by far the most gentle arthropod to feature in this episode. However, if you push further into the forest, you can come across other invertebrates which aren't quite so gentle. A wandering spider, with her charismatic red jaws and bright yellow coloration underneath her legs. If you stare at her, she's not afraid to stare right back. Some species boast a potent enough venom to be fatal to people. These species are highly defensive, and you can see in this video. However, leave them alone and they'll leave you alone. A stunning find for one of my first nights in Peru. But further into the jungle, something much bigger was waiting.
We spotted a beautiful but also terrifying bird-eating spider. So it is one of the largest species of tarantula, and it's also called the chicken spider because allegedly once it was caught dragging away the corpse of a chicken. But these tarantulas are very capable of overpowering prey much larger than themselves. It was only recently that one of these tarantulas was seen dragging away a small possum. They are very impressive. This species of tarantula are quite skittish and potentially quite aggressive as they're very nervous. It's not really recommended to catch these, so I'm not going anywhere near it. We've caught other tarantulas on camp, but you'll see how aggressive it is when I do this. Hopefully. There we go, straight in there. Oh my. Okay, no, this is where you let go. No, this is where you let go.
So what did you think of the animals featured in this video? Did you think any of them were scary? Which one did you find the scariest? Could you get to within a meter of any of them? Let me know in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you all in our next episode.
Jump, yeah, really far and fast. He just jumped straight in the water and he jumped. Yeah, swim like a duck.